I don't even know how to open my beer. I'll be back.
That's a problem.
That's why you have taps. You know how to open it.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Root shooting it.
I'm going to do the same.
It's so hot out. I've been locked up in my cave all day.
Wait, we could be out on the patio too. What the hell?
All right. Hey, we're live.
I don't know how to open my beer. I'll be back.
That's a problem.
We have taps. You have to open it.
Oh, nice.
This is starting just the way I thought it would.
I'm going to do this.
Look at
A
this.
virtual shit show?
Yeah. Wait, who would have used that description?
This is what I would have expected.
Wait, Jay's got a Dave Matthews Band shirt on, and Chris has a Social Distortion shirt on. That's
Yeah, that's
opposite
right.
sides of the spectrum. Jeez.
That's right.
Yeah. Talk about dating ourselves. I just got to make sure everybody knows I also have a Star Wars pint glass today.
Oh,
so-
that's cool.
I have a Star Wars cell phone cover.
Jay's got a
There you go.
Very nice.
I'll be underneath this.
Okay.
All right.
So, Chris and Dina, give us an update. What's going on? Are you selling a lot of beer or no?
Well, Jake is just leaving the building, so now Dina and I are the only two people in here. So we're doing to-go sales from 12 to 7 every day. We just started our delivery service yesterday. Starting out slow, but we'll see where that goes, especially as people get a little more fed up with everything.
How are you doing the delivery stuff? Like, I want to know insurance-wise and stuff like that, because we were thinking about that the other day. How does that even work?
That's a great question. In terms of insurance, we haven't gotten no, seriously.
Stop asking those questions, Sam.
Yeah.
I know.
No evil, hear no evil.
Okay.
Yeah, better to beg for forgiveness sometimes. But it has to be delivered by an employee. And so right now we've got a guy that usually represents us for doing sales on and off premise. He doesn't have a whole lot of people to talk to these days, so we're having him run sales for us. So he's covered for driving several hundred miles a day anyway.
Yeah.
And our insurance company is okay with it.
Okay.
He's actually going to fewer places now than he was. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully it picks up a little steam over time. What am I missing? What else are we doing? We
Got our online ordering up a few days ago. So
Do you have any issues getting that set up, or was everybody pretty helpful?
just me trying to do it.
she did. She got all the work on that one.
Yep.
So I know you've been working just crazy hours. I'm assuming that Jordan and Chad, you've been doing the same thing, just up at the ass crack of dawn before that.
I mean, Chad's still doing his full-time job in addition to all this stuff. So,
That makes two of us.
Yeah.
I mean, my virtual office is both a bank space and a beer space now. So there's a cooler under the desk, and I just change hats for the meetings.
there it is.
Owen and Dan, where's your cocktail?
Sunglasses and a hat.
There's a beer. Owen, where's your cocktail? Hey, there we go. Cheers. Cheers. There we go.
Full fucking glass.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just. What do you, Jordan or Chad, jump in here and tell us what were you thinking, knowing that, I don't know, you guys have always been pretty candid with Jay and I. What were you thinking as this shit was unfolding?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty frightening. I mean, we're already in a world of darkness and unknown right now, and it's kind of every minute of every day we're just trying to problem solve right now, more so than just running a small business, but really walking in that unknown of what's the right thing for the community, what's the right thing for our employees, what's the right thing for the business. And really, Jordan and I have just been trying to take in as much data as we can and then trying to make the right decision, whatever that means. And it's been tough. It's been stressful, and it's been something like we've never entered before. But like many of the other really partners around the state and the country, we're adapting how we can, and to go orders for what it's worth, and we're looking at delivery service right now. We haven't enacted it yet, but we're trying to figure out how to make that happen. And we're knocking on friends' doors to see, hey, how'd you guys come up with it? What'd you guys do? And just trying to make the right decision as we go forward. And if we make an incorrect one, then okay. So what do we do next? And we just figure it out. So,
have you noticed anybody doing it really well? The delivery thing?
I'm not sure, Jordan. Have you seen anything? I mean, it's kind of too new to tell, but
yeah, I mean, it really just, I mean, the order for delivery approval came through last Friday. I know that Gun Barrel Brewing Company jumped on it right off the bat. I haven't heard how it's working for them, and I know that Odyssey is one of the only other folks that I've seen actually bringing beer to people. We're trying to figure it out because it's, I mean, there are logistical challenges, especially for a brewery our size. There's a host of requirements to do it legally and right, and we're trying to navigate that as well as do like a little cost benefit analysis. Like, we're not going to do the whole state, obviously. So, what is our delivery range? How do we do that so that folks outside of it can't accidentally order, and then we take their money, and then we're like, oh shit, sorry. So we're looking at some stuff. There's a new operating website called Beer Me that was developed by some friends of ours back east, which I mean, they just launched it. It's free. We're checking that thing out, and we can connect a link through our website for online sales and all that sort of stuff. So if you guys are doing delivery and haven't checked out Beer Me, BIERME.
Yeah, I think we just started looking at that. We were hit the ground running as fast as we could, and make light of it. But the reality is, we self-distributed for a couple of years, so we still have a lot of our routes and everything set up it wasn't too hard to jump back into that. And instead of delivering to business accounts, now we're delivering to end consumers. So, we're probably a little bit ahead of a lot of people on that end.
Not to oversell. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry,
I have to use the raise my hand feature again.
Yeah, there is. You guys get that option to raise your hand.
Raise my hand. Has anybody talked about, I don't know how to do this, or if it's even legal under the other bullshit that's not legal. Can Woods Boss meet Odyssey and exchange a couple of cases of beer, and then that expands your delivery footprint if the Woods Boss guy is delivering your suds kind of thing? Or
it's a good question. We got approached by another brewery as soon as we heard that Denver was like shutting down all breweries. Obviously that went away within like 2 hours, and they're like, hey, we're not in Denver. If we can help you guys sell your beer out of our tap room, we will. And I know that doing that, all it would require is like a little LDA, I believe.
Yeah.
But as far as like delivering other people's beer, I
don't know. I think that's a level of complexity we haven't broached yet.
I mean, look at what happened on what night was it? Monday night, where you shut down the breweries, and then 3 hours later everything was back open. I mean, it's fucking crazy. It's just Owen, real quick before everybody else says something, what's going on? What are you seeing in craft distillery?
So I mean, similar situation. Dean and Chris, we've been self-distributing, so kind of doing the same things like that. But I mean, so much of us is cocktail game on premise type stuff. So that's been definitely a lot slower. Even if you were on the cocktail menu, what we see is a lot of the restaurants who are doing that. Not too many people ordering the to-go cocktail right now. So that's been slow and hurting. But we're trying to partner up with people to sell bottles through those restaurants. So not just the cocktail, try to get bottles on their to-go order.
Nice.
So just their avenue to get it out there. I was on the American Craft Spirits webinar today, and all states are having the same problems. Like they were talking about Maryland, like, do we help deliver other people's stuff? We're does the insurance, what does the tax look like? You know, can you just get like a food truck and just go neighborhood to neighborhood? Like, you know, just swear it's like a mobile liquor store. I think it's, you know, kind of like the Wild West out there. Nobody knows. There's not like an answer. So a lot of
Love that idea.
So one thing,
You can retrofit an ice cream truck for a liquor truck.
Our delivery guy got asked today if he was like an ice cream truck when he was driving down the street. They were like, "We have money. We have money."
they had people come out the street with cash in hand.
Like, I can't do that.
Oh, and I talked to a brewery the other day that was, they have a full liquor license and they were selling crowlers full of pre-mixed margaritas to go.
Yeah.
And the tacos they were selling were like $7, but the crowler full of margarita was $35. And he said it was amazing. So I don't know if you can talk some of your folks into that as a mixed cocktail. I know that's still a pain in the ass, but Sam and I were talking with somebody yesterday. It's just got to be sealed. It doesn't matter what it's sealed in.
Yeah.
right.
The other thing you can do is if you do want to pre-mix a shitload of it, Cody Canning or Craft Canning or something, you do a canning run of actual cocktails. You know, get I don't know 200 fucking cases and start selling it that way.
That's a good idea. No, it's I mean, we've seen pictures of people like getting this cocktail in like a pho container, right? Like,
oh no!
Oh, for fun, like do that.
Right?
Is that a spilled lid? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Just
well,
go buy like 100 Slurpees and then empty them out as soon as you're done and keep the cups.
oh my god, Dan, did we hear back from John at all yesterday regarding whether or not Blue Moon had leftover cans? I know we were talking about that when we were talking.
I haven't heard from him, but John, I'll follow up with him tonight.
Okay.
But John seems to have his hand in just about everything, so I wouldn't be shocked if he can dig some things up. So
I'm trying to think if anybody has connections. We have connections anywhere where we can just grab empty cans. I mean,
right.
Shit. Because I don't know. Jay,
I got
go
a
ahead, sorry.
client that owns a canning distribution company. I got to figure out what his deal is. They do Pepsi and Bud, so I don't know what their story is. But I mean, what are you guys looking for more specifically? You need crowlers or twist-on cans, right? You can't have a full-blown
12-ounce cans and crowlers.
32.
Anything.
Yeah. Baby bottles.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, for Jordan.
Yeah.
There, see? There it is, the baby bottle. Whatever you can put this in. What did was it John or
This
Dan
is
that told
also
us yesterday?
the changing room. So.
Saw that.
Looking pretty clean there, Jordan. What the hell, man? Is it just the video feed?
I do whatever my wife asks me to do at this point.
Smart.
Less
Very
than 2 weeks
smart.
out. It's a good
Like
idea.
shave, fine, shower if I have to. Don't drink. Fuck. Okay.
I missed my haircut opportunity, so I'm throwing this thing out. We'll see what happens.
I was thinking about that. I can't get a fucking haircut for a while. Yeah. Oh my god.
Back to your question though about the canning resources, supply chain stuff is starting to get a little weird too. There are a lot of breweries out there, since everyone is putting their beer into crowlers. The crowler situation was never set up for this, so everyone's blowing through their stock. And while we can sell beer to go now in crowlers, a number of folks are going to start running pretty thin, and it's going to be challenging that way too. I don't know what the standard ball situation is with 12 and 16 ounces, but crowlers is definitely. I don't know if they're going to be able to ramp up to demand as quickly.
Even 12-ounce cans through Ball. I looked yesterday, and like 3 of their SKUs for 12 ounces were sold out.
Wow.
So I mean, it's getting bad. I mean, we lucked out. We ordered what I thought was about a 6-month supply of crowlers that we picked up right before all this started, and then ordered another 6 months where we're going through about 10 times as many crowlers per week. The first week is what we anticipated. So what I thought we might have a little to spare, but now I'm worried that we're going to run out before all this is said and done.
What about what's Sleeping Giant doing at the moment? Are they just canning what they have in shop, in house, and they don't have anything extra? Nobody knows.
I don't know.
We don't work.
Let me
with-
ask you guys
Yeah, I know. I
this.
didn't know if anybody heard anything. Yeah.
What is the technical description? I'm literally emailing a client of the banks right now that has this major canning distribution company. What is the technical description of the twist-ons?
Jay has been amazingly useful in this moment. I'm surprised. I am absolutely shocked by the value he's brought to this. There was
Record.
Thank you,
no,
Jay.
yeah. Colin Westcott from Equinox in Fort Collins called his banker after our conversation, got his loan refinanced. So yeah,
Just saying.
Way to go,
who knew you had value?
I did. No, but before Sam ruins my moment here, what do they call the twist on? Is it just called a twist on can?
I don't know. I mean, I can hit up Bill and Ashley and ask them.
Okay.
We don't use it, so I
No,
don't
we
know.
don't use it either.
Yeah, we don't use them.
Okay.
Bierstadt is one of the few that I've seen that actually uses that particular setup. I mean, but
Dan.
doing crawlers at all, or what's your deal, Dan?
Well, we had John Legnard from Blue Moon was saying he thought we had a huge surplus because at one point we were going to start offering growlers aggressively in Rhino and then kind of put the kibosh on that. But he just got back to me and said he's not sure we have any that are not branded Blue Moon.
Got it.
So he's still digging into it. But since we don't have any use for them in the imminent future, he was talking about giving them out. So but I don't think
We
that's
have labels. We'll slap a label on.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would have no problem with that, but that's up to you.
Duct tape. Just wrap them in duct tape.
Well, I'll see how many he's got and
Lot of
see what he can find out. He's texting back and forth with me right now. So
If
cool.
he's going to
Cool.
dump some, I definitely know folks would be willing to throw their own label on top,
Yeah.
right on. Okay.
including us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, John's an old school guy and obviously most stores has been around forever and they have the resources to weather the storm. So for me, I think it's probably the least we could offer,
Sure.
so.
Thank you. That's awesome.
That would be fantastic. That's
Yeah, for
pretty good.
sure.
So what? Okay. So are y'all done brewing? Is anybody brewing right now, or is it just kind of filling what's in the tank?
We brewed once this week and once or twice next week,
Okay.
just to try and keep up with case sales.
Okay.
That it's weird though. We're trying to balance. Well, how much are we going to go through versus, brewing a 15-barrel batch of beer? I don't know. Buying ingredients and everything else only works right now if you know you're going to do it pretty quick.
Are you worried?
Am I worried?
Yeah. I mean, like, what's?
I've been worried for 2 weeks.
But I mean, I just can't even imagine. I can't imagine.
I think our major concern is, it's what is a week 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About a week 2, right? So yeah, there's been like this mad rush and it's been not great, but it's been okay for the last 2 weeks. But my concern, that we keep thinking about is, well, what about next week? What about week 4, 5, 6, 7? And will that steady support from the community continue, or will it start to taper off? And we really got to protect our, the longevity or the future of the shutdown, however long it is.
What are you not seeing that you think should be seen? If y'all could, what is it? Is it changes in? Is it more conversation? Is it more clarity from the state? Like, what are you not seeing that you need? All of you, even Owen included.
Yeah.
Like, what do you? Yeah.
I mean, I think the timelines on everything are funny. Like, it's 2 weeks for this, 3 weeks for that, 8 weeks for something else. Like, it's hard to know when things will actually come back online. And I think that's really confusing to everyone out there as to when, if everything was more aligned, we'd have better expectation. Even if you had to kick that out like another 2 weeks, at least everything could be a little bit more aligned out there. For us, like, our price point is like, $65 to $69. So like our sales have plummeted because people are buying, cheaper stuff on the deliveries. It's just a little different. So for us, we're just kind of like weathering the storm until we get back up. For our goal right now, we don't have a tasting room. Like, our goal is to get that set up this spring. and get that going. So we didn't have some of those challenges that everybody else has out there, but we're kind of just let's survive and keep moving and seeing how we can help out there and engage with the community. But I think it's the timeline that is everybody.
Is there any indication you
Freaking
guys
out.
will be able to do deliveries with, distillery business? I mean, what I hear,
Yeah.
you can't do delivery.
So since we don't have a tasting room, we can't do deliveries and all.
Yeah, that sucks.
So it's hurting us a lot. So we're still working, self-distribution through our liquor store partners, and then through the restaurants that have us that wanted to do bottle sales. But that's our only avenues right now, which is pretty difficult. So again, we didn't have the overhead that a tasting room would have, so we don't have to pay that bill. So it's kind of a balancing act on both those sides. But I mean, I've seen a lot of things. I saw QuickBook put out like they're sponsoring GoFundMe's for small business out there. The SBA has their disaster loan recovery stuff. So we're trying to explore all options just to kind of survive and stay afloat.
Are you able to get like real-time data, Owen, from the liquor stores who have your stuff on shelves, or no? That's not possible.
It's not. It's the velocities right now are just crazy, and the response time from the buyers are pretty low. So like, hey, do you need something? And they won't respond. They're like, hey, we need 3 cases or whatever. So it's just pretty difficult to get response. And from what I've seen, everybody's like, email me, don't call, don't show up, and it's whenever they get to the email.
I don't know.
So what do you, I guess, personally, are you worried when you go out and you deliver these cases? I mean, knowing that you're a dad, you got kids and all of this, I mean, what's the kind of personal impact, not just the business, but,
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other co-founder of Lock & Co is Rick. He doesn't have kids. He's doing a lot of the deliveries.
Okay.
So that's nice to have that partner out there, but it's getting everything cleaned and
to work with them, I think.
on the delivery, so you can be pretty safe with each one. So that helps out, but it's just a matter of surviving. And it's a matter of like, hey, we can only do so many things right now, so you just kind of got to pick and choose.
Makes total sense.
But
what else?
we're kind
what
of
can we do?
situation.
Is there anything we can? I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Jay is apparently fighting with his wife or something. I don't know.
Tell him to mute his computer.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You guys are talking about bottles and cans, and we got a bunch of bottles from typically from China, right? So we just got a bunch of our bottles in December, right before everything kind of shut down. But we would have to kind of look for a new source right now because things are coming back in China, but the bottles that we would need would probably be 12 months, right, to get those bottles. So looking at different countries and new molds and things like that, I think that's going to be hurting and impacting the distilleries out there. Do we go to Mexico? Do we go to Taiwan? These other areas to get new bottles? That glass is definitely going to be impacting the industry.
Even the local bottle company like Saxco, like they haven't been responding to people's emails or phone calls. Like I don't know what's going on with them. So yeah, I hear you. Bottles, cans. I mean, that's the thing that I think that people haven't really thought about is like supply chain stuff. Not only our access to it, but also the impacts on those businesses. Chad's wearing Root Shoot shirt right now, but those guys are getting fucking crushed too, right? I mean, they're small, local, independent farmers that supply our grain and they make amazing stuff. And right now they have, no, income coming in either. So it's not just breweries and distilleries and restaurants and all that sort of stuff, but all the people who sell to them and their employees too. I mean, it's like we're all one small part of the large complex
ecosystem. Yeah, the ecosystem that we have.
Yeah, totally.
That's a piece, Jordan. That's a great point. I mean, it is pretty amazing though. If you bring it back in too, though, Sam, and you look at not only our industry, but all the pieces or all the industry that like break off or contribute to us, we're in some way, shape, or form kind of forced to band together to figure out how we can just make it through this. And I feel like we've got a lot of people that are contributing to that, and it's been proof that this industry is just, we're we roll with it. We're trying to figure it out. We're helping each other. We're doing what we can, and pick up the phone and call a friend or whatever it is. But yeah, it's definitely a challenging world out there right now.
I've just been amazed by. I'm just kind of watching just how arbitrary some of these liquor laws are, not just here in our state, but across the country. I mean, in the flip of a switch, you can change so much of this shit. Delivery, how to-go orders are done, who can sell what. It's fucking amazing to me. And I don't know what happens when this is all over, but I'm guessing the landscape changes completely. Like you guys, yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, just to that point, I was asking, it doesn't make any sense that distillers are the only ones that really can't make deliveries in this.
Yeah.
It's just an antiquated law that they're still holding to. Like,
Right.
shout out to our friends and neighbors at Talnua, just down the road from us. We've been walking back and forth between each other's places the last week or so, and we've put in an idea out there to them. Hey, we set up deliveries. Can we just put a little link that says, hey, if you want some Irish whiskey, add it to your cart. Our delivery guy will pick it up on his way. We even said, do a delivery contract with our guy, make him an employee. And they can't even do that because they can't do deliveries right now. And
Right.
some of these laws are just, I'm angry for you because it just seems stupid that, all these other places can sell your product, but you can't make deliveries yourself.
Yeah, it's so like we're working with Adamo Urban Winery. They have a full liquor license, so they just carry our product on stock, so they can deliver cocktails that can be bottles, right? So like that's our only avenue right now, unless a liquor store already does delivery. And so it's just super challenging to figure out those liquor laws. And again, it's probably the Wild West, and you'd probably get a small fine, but is that worth it? And then do you want to, make that mistake down the road? So it's just a balancing act every day to be like, what's going to change?
And what were you going to say?
Well, I just think it's a little bit frustrating for everybody that it seems arbitrary, right? I mean, the thing with restaurants, now they can offer cocktails to go. They're selling bottles of wine. I know I got a lot of friends at the Yard House, and they're selling all their craft cocktails to go. So that law was waived in a hurry for restaurants.
Yeah.
So you wonder why. And I mean, there could be a number of things at play there, of course, but it just seems unfair to, folks like on this call where a lot of these things we're making lemonade in a number of industries, but then that all of a sudden doesn't apply to others. And that's got to be frustrating because you're talking about people's livelihoods in the balance, and that's not fair. So
I agree. I mean, that some of the challenges that I've seen are not only the inequity from industry to industry, right? So the announcement Monday where every brewery lost their fucking mind for 3 hours. That yes, I mean liquor stores are good. Oh no, liquor stores are closed. Breweries are closed. No,
prohibition.
Yeah, so there's like the challenge between disparity between industry and between business, but there's also, and I feel bad, like I don't want to say like you're doing a terrible fucking job, but a lot of the people who are in charge of messaging are doing a terrible job by not actually thinking it through, communicating efficiently and effectively from our local governments all the way up to the top. There's a lot of just bad or misinformation or the stuff that is confusing because they haven't thought about the implications, and then as soon as they do it, everyone's like, wait, I can see that being an issue for me or for them. Does that mean that I'm shut down? I don't know. We're waiting for clarification. Everyone loses their fucking minds. People go on rushes to liquor stores and catch more coronavirus, and then they're like, oh no, actually it's okay.
This is
So
where we throw our shout out to the Brewers Guild,
yeah.
because those guys have done an amazing fucking job of trying to interpret all the various shitstorm that's coming out.
No, that message from Shawnee.
It's incredible.
Shawnee, Chaz Bronco, Laura Lodge, who's the guild's legislative affairs, like lobbyist. They're all, they're burning the candle at both ends, just trying to keep information flowing. And that's the other problem, right? Is we talked about the SBA disaster loan thing. One, loans are challenging for small
Yeah.
businesses to take on more debt versus something like a grant. City of Denver is working on a grant system, but you know, $7,500, awesome, definitely take it. I'd love to be able to pay my employees something, but it's not ultimately going to fix the problem. And with the new stimulus package, like the people who are voting on it haven't read it. They don't even know what's in there, so none of us do. So we don't know what potential relief, how to actually go about accessing it or applying for it, timelines, all that sort of stuff. And I think my only cautionary tale is like, work your ass off, put yourself in a good position,
True.
take a breath, and try to be patient and be ready to jump. That's what we're doing, is just like putting all our balls in the air and keeping an eye on all of them and trying to see what other balls we can throw up there.
Talking about
Without
Your balls, Jordan.
you got good ones.
What do you do with your employees, yo? I mean, that's got to be the hardest thing, right?
It's heartbreaking. Yeah.
It's it's terrible. One of the worst moments I've had probably the worst moments we've had as business owners. And we made the conscious decision right up front with our bartenders, our beer tenders, that we have no idea what kind of hours we can offer you, and you're probably going to make more money on unemployment. And in this time of need, if they're going to speed up that process and get you through the system where you can start, taking advantage of what the help that's offered, that's better for you than us trying to string you along and going, hey, you've got one shift a week or whatever. And we showed them, we basically sat down and talked to them, just said, here's the reality of what's going on. And I mean, I'm humbled. It makes me a little emotional how understanding they were about that. They're like, hey, we know it's not you guys. It's just it's a shitty situation for everybody. We're trying to keep our head brewer, Jake, on full time. He's busting his ass to try and do everything himself. We're trying to keep our sales guy, Dan, on by doing deliveries. So, we're doing deliveries mainly to keep Dan employed, to be honest with you. I don't know if we're really going to make any money, but like I said, these people are family to us. So we're doing everything we can to make it as the least invasive in their lives as possible, I guess.
You should all be drinking more. I'm the only one that has to drink seltzer, so get to
Oh, that's right, loser.
Yeah, Chris, to that, though, I mean, Jordan, I'll speak for Jordan and I on this one because I know we feel the same way. It was, we 100% agree with you, man. It was a very, very difficult conversation to have with our employees, and we're doing a similar thing. We're keeping our head brewer on, trying to get him as much as we can to keep him occupied, and we're keeping two of our other employees on to help us with just management and getting through it. Because Jordan and I are both burning, we all are burning at all ends. But man, I'll tell you, that conversation, it was humbling to let our employees know that we're furloughing them. We will employ them when this thing's over.
Yeah.
And to have them turn around and say, you know what, you're doing the right thing. This is the right call. And, I'm sure that was a little bit tough for them to respond that way too. But the same sense, like I said before, the whole industry knows the challenge we're up against and what's going on. And it's it really is an emotional and family oriented thing when you have those conversations with your employees. I mean, they're our lifeblood. They're the ones that make the brand. They're the ones that make the customer satisfaction and bring the love of craft brewing to our customers. And God, it's heartbreaking to do that, but we'll get through it.
Moment of levity. One of my favorite moments the last 2 weeks. We had this conversation last Monday with our beer tenders. FOMO was going on, and ironically, the guy that was supposed to work Monday night, our last night as an open tap room, he was sick, staying home. So Dean and I were like, oh, well, we'll take that shift and it'll be kind of our last hurrah. And we invited all of our bartenders in and said, hey, if you guys want to just come get drunk with us, come on in. And we had we closed at 9:00. We had 3 of them wander in at 8:30. I won't mention that they brought other beers with them for us to share, but
Market research, Chris.
it was market
Exactly.
research. We ended up staying up here we closed the tap room at 9, and I think we were here till about 1, drinking with our former bartenders who were trying to make us feel better about everything. So that was
That's
pretty
cool.
One thing to add for anyone else who might be out there listening, I sat in on a webinar. There's actually been a lot of great other companies, law firms, tax accountant folks that are doing webinars for businesses like us to help us understand what's going on. But I sat in on one, and there was a great takeaway, which is if you're a person who is being furloughed or let go because of this, and your company has every intention of hiring you back, when you apply for insurance, you should apply as job attached. And let all your employees know that if you're an owner, because what that does is allow them to not have to fulfill the job seeking requirement, which is going to be almost impossible to do. I mean, the one time I went on job or unemployment insurance, which was 2 months, like 12 years ago, you had to apply for 8 jobs a week or something like that, or 20, whatever it is, which is, I mean, it's not out there anyway. So it's not so it's just having to jump through a hoop that's unnecessary. But if you're job attached, then that requirement goes away. So
basically just telling people you're furloughed, right? When things reopen, I have a job, which is
right.
100% true.
The term they used was job attached as far as the application goes. That I haven't tried to fill it out because I don't even think I'm eligible.
We're not. You're a business owner.
Yeah.
You're not.
Well, why don't you all, my wife's going to kill me, but if anybody's looking for a job, my side hustle aside from this is I write resumes. Have them email me and I will take care of them. Okay. I'll do it. Yeah. I mean, my wife just had to take unemployment. I mean, she's talked to her boss today because she does clinical research and it's a small shop, and in 2 weeks nobody's coming in there. They have no patients. So send them my email and I'll take care of them. Seriously, just let them know. Okay. It'll just take me a second to do. Yeah, Jordan.
To move the conversation in a different direction, what are all the fun beers that people are going to be able to release when this is all said and done?
Give me some good names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a bunch of coronavirus names, I'm sure. I wonder how many people have tried to trademark social distancing for a beer name already.
Yeah.
Quarantini.
Quarantini. Yeah, there you go.
No, beautiful timeline. Somebody make a beautiful timeline beer. That was my thing.
We were running out of Crowler labels, so we just took our Crowler label and threw COVID-19 edition. Yeah. We didn't give any medicinal
I wanted to
qualities
put antidote. I wanted to put antidote, but he was concerned that.
There's enough really dumb people out there that might think it's.
Yeah. Hey man, there are people ingesting things that the president mispronounces on national TV and killing themselves. So those people are out there.
Oh my God! Look who's back! Look who's back! Jay has joined us.
What's Blue Moon got in the works, Dan? That you'll be dropping down the road. Any idea?
Well, I mean, they are shipping beer to some international tap rooms, so they're trying to figure out if that's even still a thing. But they've got luckily some barrel aged stuff, pretty aggressive barrel aging program that can both sour and spirit side that can last some time. So I think they were meant to do a Kentucky Derby mint julep beer that was going to be shipped out actually to Churchill Downs.
We did one of those last year. It was terrible.
Yeah, that one was kind of quite honestly not best. I
mean, there were people who liked it, but I fucking hated it.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Don't hold back. No, it was. First of all, John Garvin, our pilot brewer, will kill me for saying this.
Oh, I love Garvin.
He put fucking peppermint in it instead of spearmint.
What?
I was like, are you making a fucking toothpaste beer?
Save it till Christmas. Save it till Christmas.
And, luckily, it was subtle enough that with the power of suggestion to the guests, oh yeah, it's pleasantly.
Hey, every beer brewed is somebody's favorite beer somewhere.
That's right. But this year's was a little more that we definitely winged it with that one. So I think the one this year was actually going to like beer writers and shit. So it was a little more calculated in what they did. And supposedly, as they've tasted, I haven't tasted it in process, but much better. So that's good news. And then a lot of just sour beer we've been sitting on for a while that'll probably come out, I'm sure. But they're dumping a lot of beer as well if they can't ship it internationally. But
What's everybody doing with their collab beers?
Oh,
yeah.
Eventually. I mean, our collab beers are both beers that we'll keep for a while. So we did a limoncello beer with Spangalang, Jagged, and Liberati. So sort of we did it with left hand. I don't know, so to speak. But that was it was a fermenter soured lacto Quebec. I mean, it literally tastes like, and we actually made limoncello and put it in there. So it tastes like limoncello. It's amazing. But like that beer is not going bad anytime soon.
Yeah.
One, it's already, a infected, fucked up beer by intent. So no problem there. It's got a pretty high ABV. The other one is an Imperial Tahini Brown that we're barrel aging in Stranahan Snowflakes barrels with Resolute. So that can just hang out in the barrel for months until it's ready to go.
Actually, they'll be better, but you don't have to rush it.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you got?
What are you guys gonna do? What are you gonna do with your collab beer?
Well, I think we're gonna end up having to can ours. We got the tap room's been kicking ass this year, so we expanded and we went from 12 taps to 18 taps. So we've been brewing like
catching up, Chris.
What's that?
Catching up.
Yeah, I know we're catching up to the jackasses at Woods Boss.
We got like 40. I mean,
Actually, we can do.
No, we've been brewing like crazy people doing draft only stuff. So we've got 5 tanks of quote draft only beer that we're working on labels for right now. 2 of which are collab beers. One was with our friends over at Flight Co. It's gonna be a Belgian Golden Strong. And it's called the Odyssey of Flight. I mean, we got real original with the name Odyssey of Flight.
That was good though.
That's so bad.
That's
good.
low hanging fruit. Some people
It's better than Blumpkin. Right?
I still remember. Gosh.
Of course. I had to.
Terrible.
I was waiting for a good spot to insert it.
Yes.
And then the most disappointing thing, you two knuckleheads know this, we were doing a collaboration with all media folks.
Yeah.
We were doing a media darling Scottish ale.
Yep.
And so I was working on the label on that today. Hopefully we'll get that done in the next week or so, get some labels and can it up and, probably have 100 cases or so out there for the beer loving public.
You could always put the Unfiltered logo on that label.
Hey,
I think there may be copyright issues. You weren't even here.
Come help brew.
Oh my God.
I wasn't
I'm
there
just
either.
the idea guy.
Coattails. This is what I'm seeing
no
here.
shit. My
He
God.
just has Waylon Jennings soundtrack playing in his brain.
Always. Hey, we're gonna do this again. First off, I'm gonna have to jump off because I gotta talk to my neighbor. His 3 25-year-old sons have been having parties, so I need to tell them to shut the fuck up.
Oh, you're gonna rat him out?
Yeah, no, I'm like, hey, your kids live in your basement. They're 25, they're newborn, and they're really loud. But what do you want us to do? What can we do for everybody? Owen, for liquor and beer. Tell us.
Keep telling folks to get out and support your local.
Yep.
Yeah, the best.
And spread the love around too. There's a shitload of us. We're all going through the same thing. We're
One thing we're gonna
buy something, but we're happy if they go support our friends too. So
yes. One thing we're gonna start doing is featuring other local products on our social media.
Yeah, you have to.
promote other people, right? And try to get community stronger.
Oh, that's actually one thing Chad's been doing great. You could help promote as well is we've been we do a lot of music in the tap room, and we're doing live streaming stuff with a lot of our artists, so that they can keep playing music, get their name out, but also have like a digital tip jar, Venmo, stuff like that. So I mean, that's another industry that is also impacted by this, because there are a lot of musicians that go out and play for, fuck all, but it keeps them fed and with a roof over their head.
We can't forget our food truck friends, man. Those guys are hurt too.
Yeah, real bad.
What are food trucks doing?
Nothing. Any place they can find. I mean,
I think some of them at the busier breweries, they're pulling up and people can get food to go and they get beer to go. We don't
Like side by side.
Yeah, we don't have quite as much walk up traffic as other places.
We're trying to set up things with them on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
If we could just get the weather to cooperate, that would be great. So we're going to keep going down that road. If they want to show up and see what happens, we're down with it. So we'll keep offering.
Email me whatever you have. Dan, why don't you pitch our idea? Because I think that's a good next step to kind of get these beers out of tanks.
Yeah,
that's why Dan's here.
That's why Dan's here.
Well, it's I guess self-serving, but not really. So I left. Long story short, left my job at Blue Moon to take my family to live abroad for the year, and now don't know what that's going to look like. So as I'm sitting around missing beer connection with people, I thought, well, what can I do? Do I have any marketable skills that can help? And it turns out it's very few, but tasting beer is one of them. So the idea essentially is to do a virtual happy hour like people are doing, but pick 2 or 3 beers from a local brewery, encourage everybody to rally around that brewery that week to drive some sales there, and then kind of taste online with a master Cicerone kind of thing. And Cicerone's doing that. The program is doing that from a larger national scale, but this would be local Denver, go pick up and see if we can drive traffic for picking up to go beer, and then all have some fun together. So some educational component, but really lighthearted way to connect and then drive support to local breweries. So
ultimately, Dan is trying to put the Unfiltered podcast out of business.
Right. That's it. Well, exactly. Well, no, and Jay and Sam we were meant to do a podcast with John Legnard and I with them. They were nice enough to even let us, talk about using their reach and following to see what we could do, because
we'll invite Dan to the next brew day then.
Yeah.
Well, no, seriously, I'll email y'all. Like,
I have time on my hands now.
I'm unemployed. I'm a full-time stay-at-home beer taster. So
if you want to do it, it would literally be, we're going to set it up where it's 10 to 12 people sign up for a more intimate kind of virtual
like
conversation with Dan,
right?
Like this, right?
Yeah.
Well, people can watch on YouTube, but those 10 to 12 people would have to go get your beer, 3 of your beers that week, and make sure that it's ready by Tuesday. So
or delivered now,
right? Or delivered. Yeah, they would deliver it. So if you want to do it, just let us know.
I think
depending on if they're in the delivery zone, Jay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it would have to be that too. So
overthinking it.
Very aware of that.
Driving 3 crawlers to Grand
the delivery zone is a little bit fungible. It's it's a general guideline. Yeah.
But we're trying to get people to go and pick up too, and I think enough people are rallying that they would make the drive. And it's some breweries
100%.
Selling to go. They want to do a delivery only, but I think there's a legal gray area there. It seems like that's fine, right? So
anyway, Dan, I'd be happy to give you beer to drink.
There you go.
You're all right with it.
I'll throw some whiskey your way. For sure.
Yeah, no shit.
The idea would be, 12 to 15, because if you have too many interacting, it's a shit show. But I think the idea, hopefully, is that you get 100 people to go and just say, well, I'm going to drink along with this event as well. And we get some traction and drive some real sales that are meaningful for you guys. So that was the idea.
Yeah, let's get an email chain going to figure out some deets.
Speaking of that, Owen, will you email me somebody? What's a master whiskey taster called?
Owen Locke.
I was going to say it's me. It's Jay Schrader, but no.
No, we should do something like that because we have enough buddies in the whiskey spot.
We can get you dialed in for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, let us know what you need. Email us. Best of luck this week. We'll do it
Hey,
again next
Sam,
week.
just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just keep put the word out there, man, that we're still doing business. And
Hey, all of you fuckers have given us a chance, so it's time to pay.
You guys
yeah.
have no idea how much fucking craft beer I bought when they announced they were shutting Denver down the other day.
You also know how much I spent way less money on beer in 2019 because of this podcast. Because a lot of times you just went and got it.
Yeah, it was
and loaded
free.
up.
It was
Yeah,
free.
it was free. Yeah, and whiskey from that guy.
all of that.
Yeah, exactly. So let us know what you need. We'll take care of you. I swear to God. Yeah, just email Jay or I, and we will make sure to spread this word. Okay.
Word.
All right. Bye, everybody. Be safe. Okay.
Take it easy, guys.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Hey guys.